where women, especially young Muslim girls, are very much disadvantaged. And unfortunately, in my community, the biggest problem is that we lack role models in our society. Because as you can see, I don't remember the last time we had a female member of parliament in Kwale County. I don't remember, like recently, when you look at the statistics, it's quite clear that the women are you're either a deputy governor or you are woman rep. We really do not have the motivation to take leadership in our society. So what I wanted to do is to show our young girls that you can be more. You know, in my society, the Digo women, we are mostly known for cooking or, you know, sitting down and discussing other women. But I felt like if I create a reasonable example for every young girl in Kwale County to see that even young women, you can take leadership, you can do beautiful things for your society to create a change. So that has always been my main inspiration.
It's true, we're all from Coast Province, and the notion is that a woman should get married, look after the house, and
that's basically what I get to hear every time I go home. You know, aunties and relatives, when are you getting married? If you go through my social media, that's literally the question, when are you getting married? Like that is basically, I would say, it's the main important goal in my community. You have to get married. Once you're 23, you're 20, you have to get married, which is also why young women are getting married for the wrong reasons, which has also increased the divorce rate in my community. So you can see
and youth are not being included in almost every development project.
Exactly. Like, I think recently our county has started involving the youth in the planning process, which I find very good, because when I went home, I was involved in a violent extremism planning process with the youth and the county, which I feel is very reasonable, because we can't have other people making decisions for us. We need to have a seat on the table to give our point of views. You cannot just come to me as an elder person and tell me these are your problems and this is how I'm going to solve them. You need to listen to me. What if those are not the actual problems? So yes,
that's true.
Just one of that is, like, we need to create a good platform for youth out there, to give them a good role to play in the community, because we have this mentality that we have to listen to our elders and they don't listen to us too. So just to add on that, I think it's a good initiative that she's doing.
So what was your inspiration?
My inspiration actually comes from a very humble background, and then we have someone inspired me. You know, like, I've never believed that someone will have an inspiration to me, like, to push me to do something good for the community. And then this person was like, I think a dropout from school, and then she was like asking me, like, I need a job. I have not done anything, but I just need something to help my family. And I was like, you know what, you cannot get anything in this world without just, you have no papers and nothing. And then, no, like, iron sharpen an iron, just like a friend sharpen a friend. So she kept me pushing me that you can do something for me. I don't know what is it, but you can do something for me. So that inspiration, and I'm so humbled to say that that person was a lady, actually. And that made me come up with this organization, and aim was to give youth the role, a big role, so that they can play that role in the community, so they can be the change in that community. Not me coming to tell you like what you do in your community, but you yourself from that community do something when you're in that community. Yeah.
Nima, how did you just think, like, I'll open an organization? How was it?
Okay, to be completely honest, before I decided to open my organization, I had a YouTube channel, the Hijabi Journalist Show, where I would invite different women. When I began my YouTube channel, my biggest audience were women, especially from Muslim community, because honestly, I prefer starting to solve a problem by myself, like from where I am. So that's where I was at that point. And I was addressing different issues that different women were facing in their communities. And that was what I was doing. But then it reached a point, I didn't want to just talk about these issues and enlighten them. I wanted to get on the field. So I'm not going to lie to you. When I started my organization, I was with only 4 other volunteers.
Only 4?
We were just 4 of us. And it was very hard because we were doing everything. We were doing the research, we were doing organizing, we were doing... But alhamdulillah, I would say 2 years later, I have 50 volunteers in my organization in 4 different departments: sex education, gender-based violence, violent extremism, and economic empowerment. And we are all working towards the same objectives. So, yes.
Abdul Halim, how did you just think I'll open an organization?
No. Yeah, we have that. First of all, it's good that people, when you have this idea, actually, it was not actually welcomed by many people. So sometimes I can come and share this idea with you, and then you'll be like, come on, just leave my shower to just focus on your... Exactly. And it's always, that's when I learned that when you want to do something, share with the people that with the same beliefs and same values as you. Yeah. So what I did is, like, I had to look for professional people, like people, especially people at my work station. Like, I had to talk to them and share this idea with people, and like they were like, oh, you know what, we can assist you with this, we can do something. But mainly, if you have an idea, just don't go and talk to anyone. Look at the people that you're sharing that idea with, and it's always good to get that knowledge, for someone who has already started at that organization, so that at least you know what you're going to encounter in the future. Yeah.
You talked about people shunning you off. You started with 4 people. So a youth out there who has the potential to help the community and doesn't know how to start, where to start, what are the steps that you took to open an organization? Because it looks hard. And because so many people will back away and they have potential.
Yeah, they do. Like I said, first of all, talk to people who have already done it. Don't just because you're a youth and you want to help the community, now you just go to register the organization. Don't do that. Start slowly. Go to people, like talk to her, like just tell me the steps. Like, you guys already have an organization, like tell me what you guys did, and always do research. Don't just go because we don't want my youth up if you're so unemployed, so let's do it. No, don't do that. Do the research, get your own research, get the point that you want to focus in the community, get the ideas, and then after you have done your research, now that's the time that you can think about now how to register the organization. Yeah.
Add on to that.
Yes.
So personally, sorry, just like he said, research is very important. I say there's a lot of potential out there, but not a lot of people are willing to take their time to research. And research is about investing your energy, investing your time, and investing your money. Because if you're going to be going down to the ground, you by yourself, you have to, you find yourself with a necessary or more financial budget than you decided for. So I usually tell my members, because a lot of them are always up, oh, you know what, we want to do this project, you know, let's just hold this event, or let's have this activity. But that's not how it works. You have to invest in it, you have to research in it, get your content straight. It's very important to have the knowledge, because you will be talking to people. For example, I cannot go to Abdul Halim and just decide to, you know what, I want to talk to you about sex education when I don't know the closest, the nearest, or the policies that have recently been made on the issue of sex education. So it's very important to gain as much information as you have. Then you need to plan for it. You need to come with a basis of a timeline and resources of how you're going to do this. Okay, so what do you want to do? Do you want to start by getting volunteers? Do you want to create a budget? Do you want to approach sponsors? Do you want to approach partnerships first? You need to come up with a line of activities that you want to follow when you're opening your organization.
We have two tendencies. One, where I see Nima opened an organization, I see Abdul Halim opened a certain organization, I also opened it. But your main reason is different from my reason. You might be genuine, I might be genuine. How do you overcome such youth who have the same? I know you've encountered some and such. Because
I really don't know what to say about the youth when they open the organization first. About the genuine and not genuine, it's so hard to tell. It's so hard to tell. I haven't really encountered, okay, they are there, but I haven't really encountered with them like so much. I don't know what to add about that. Maybe you can.
So yes, it happens a lot. Okay, first and foremost, we have a problem in our with youth. I will say that, no offense, but like the thing you just said. He opens an organization, I open an organization, you open an organization, simply because you don't want to join my organization. I feel like there are so many small unnecessary organizations that if we youth decided, for example, what do you do in your organization? Youth empowerment. Yeah, so instead of me opening another organization on youth empowerment, what about me joining him in his organization? It will make work more easier. But instead of that, most people will think, oh, she's winning so much. It's more of a competition, because I have encountered those kind of people, and they would go ahead to open another organization. But what I usually say is, the thing about copying somebody's vision, you only get to see what I posted. You know, you only get to see my mission. You don't know the end game that I have. You don't know the long-term game. So you're going to start following my footsteps, but then at some point you're going to be stuck, because now I have to do something for you to know. So that's what I'm supposed to do next. So instead of that, we can just focus on doing these things together, or we can focus on our own creativity.
United.
Yeah.
As we stand, there's a question which popped out in my mind. We usually use social media for different purposes.
Yeah,
mostly you'll find them, I think 90% of their time are using social media, but in a different perspective. But you guys are using social media in a different perspective. Yeah. So how would you advise us to use social media in a very good cause? Abdul Halim,
I'm very poor in social media. But one thing about social media is that it actually, sometimes we don't know, but it actually takes more influence to people that don't know. What you post is what people take. And what do you want people to come and see in your post actually? Do you want people to come there and learn something, or do you want people just to see that you're having fun? And that's where it comes with all the depression, mental issues. Because if I see you today, you're in Java having coffee, we pick a picture, I have to go to Java myself there.
And my pocket is not friendly enough.
Exactly. So I think it's how you use it, and what do you want people to gain when they come in to see your post? What do you want to get outside that? That's the key thing.
So for me, I will say social media is more about brand identification and brand identity. When you're going to be putting yourself out there, you want to sit down and ask yourself, am I okay with people viewing me like this? Like, that is the first question I've always been asked all the time. Are you okay with this? Is this your brand? Are you okay with people identifying with you like this? So in the end of the day, so many people are on social media because it's the land of social media right now, but you need to identify your cause. Like, I was telling my friend, she was in my DM, not my friend, but a follower, and she was telling me, oh, you know what, I want to enter into leadership. And I was like, the first thing you have to do is to change your brand identity. I am sorry, but there are things people out there are not going to recognize you as a leader, especially as a woman, because that's the first problem that we have. So if you're going to be a woman and you want to be a leader, you have to be very careful with the brand you portray. That if you want to be an artist, you have to portray an artist kind of brand. If you want to be a model, you need to portray. If you want to be a leader, you have to portray that kind of leadership adversity. So a lot of people do not understand the concept of brand identity. I'm not going to lie, it's been a struggle for me for years. You know, sometimes you just want to post a very beautiful selfie of yourself, but then you're like, okay, so what will people say? So yeah, it's a challenge, but in the end of the day, we are growing, and I'm thinking we're learning as we go along.
Na mtazamaji, kumbuka mada yetu ya leo ni youth making a difference. Unaweza changia kupitia mitandao yetu ya kijamii @Horizontv Kenya, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, au unaweza kupiga simu au tuma ujumbe mfupi kupitia nambari ambazo ziko katika runinga yako. Tupate pumziko fupi, tarejea baada ya muda usio mrefu.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا.
Ni kitabu kitukufu.
Qur'ani ni kitabu kitabu ambacho cha miujiza
kilichoteremshwa kwa mpangilio.
Hazikuletwa harufu hizi za mkato moja kwa moja,
hakuna mfano wake,
na hamwezi nyinyi Makureishi kuwa ni wenye kutunga kitabu kama hiki, ingawa zimetumia harufu zile ambazo zimezitumia katika kuandika au katika kusema.
Miujiza yake Al-Malik.
Mwenyezi Mungu ana uwezo usiokuwa na kifani.
Ni malengo ya Qur'an.
Khazain zote za ardhi na samawati ziko mikononi mwake.
Sheikh Muhammad Badamana na uchambuzi wa Qur'an kwa undani kila Alhamisi saa 3 usiku kwenye Horizon TV.
On the next episode,
imagine those people who don't know Arabic and then they meet Prophet Muhammad on the day of judgment. How will they say to him, how are you?
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Karibu katika metu ya pili ya Active Jumatatu. Mada yetu leo ni Youth Making a Difference. Kumbuka unaweza kuchangia katika mada yetu kupitia nambari zetu za simu zilioko katika runinga yako, au unaweza kutuma ujumbe mfupi, au unaweza wasiliana nasi kupitia mitandao ya kijamii @Horizontv Kenya, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Tukiendelea na mada yetu ni kwamba there are so many people out there who are youth who have the potential to help, but they're kind of confused and unable to open an organization because maybe lack of fear, maybe lack of funds. I have a friend who is in Mombasa who does a lot of humanitarian things, but for several years, but paka sahi haja open an organization. So how would you tell such a person?
But I don't think funds should be a concern to them, because
Explain.
you always have that. As in, like, if you want to start something, you want to give people. Obviously, you give them service, but you don't expect anything back from them for what you want to do. So I will urge someone like that to, first of all, like I've already said in the first beginning, that get a professional people, get people already well known, as into this to open an organization. First of all, get that knowledge based first, so that at least you know what you need to do before you think about even funding. Funding should be actually the last thing that you think about when you're starting to open an organization. So if that person you could just advise, maybe at least we're here, can reach out to myself or her, and just at least to know how to open that organization, now to start up, at least now will be very well known, at least that, just get that knowledge. Don't be scared. People are scared of getting that knowledge, so
People are scared of taking a risk.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to say. And when it comes to leadership, risk taking is very important. So, okay, I will say the best thing to do is to learn from example. So if you can actually work in the area of in an organization that's giving back to the community for a while, learn the process, see the mechanism that they're using in the organization, then ask them, anyone who is interested, to help you along the process. So yeah, in the end of the day, you have to take a leap.
What's the best memories of your work making a difference in the society? The best memories?
Memories. Interesting.
That's a question that popped out in my mind. You're doing an amazing job. And the best memories that you have, what are the memories?
I don't, to be very honest, there's that feeling that when you give someone, it's so like someone is getting, you're sharing your piece of your time to go to see these people or to assist these people, and then the joy that they have. You expect people just to be happy just because you brought something big. Trust me, even just you being there or to assist someone, even just with few words, trust me, it transforms their life, and them see them like appreciating you just because you help them. Even if you just in any type of situation that you have trust, it doesn't have to be humanitarian or anything, but the best moment I've ever seen is we went to this children's home, and then the kids, how they cheer when they see you coming. They shout out your name, and you're like, "Wow, my God!" You just get that goosebumps, like, "Oh, what am I supposed to say here?" And then you expect, like, even if you're coming with just sodas, like, they just appreciate you. They clap for you, like they just want you to come back. They don't want anything now. They just want you to come back again. Okay. That's the most my best memories actually.
Because we usually have a notion that the youth are selfish, usually are self-centered. Yeah. So what are the best memories that you have? Because you've done a lot of good job.
Okay, so for me, to be completely honest, I will say I relive my memories every day. Every single day when I wake up and I check my DM, there is someone there telling me how much I've touched them through my work, and it gets me so teary. And sometimes people think that's really corny because I'm a very emotional person. I'm just like, oh my God, this is so sweet. But honestly,
because there are so many challenges, I guess.
Challenges number one, dealing with people. And you don't
Thank you.
You don't know who is coming to do what there, because yes, I'm sharing it. All of you guys here was the biggest challenge that I've faced. Trying to maintain them, and they sometimes they drag you. Some people just want to enjoy the ride, like just want to be known, like I'm part of this organization. They don't want to be like, oh, you know, they don't want to push the organization. They just want to be like enjoying, like, well, we are just part of this, benefits only. So that's, I think, dealing with people is the hardest thing, because right now, if I look at the organization right now and compare it before, right now we are very few compared to before right now. So I think people was the biggest challenge, but if people want to do the same thing as us, just know who you are sharing your ideas with, know the people that you're working, understand your circle very well, so that you should not have any challenges in the near future.
What are some other challenges before I go to her?
Other challenges with the bank. Opening a bank with registration. Actually, I had to go back. Oh, Medicap, who's supposed to sign here? Now go back again, sign. I'm like, okay. But those are, I think, they're very small things. I cannot compare that to people actually. So that's because you can just get that registration done, but the people are the biggest one. This other stuff,
you have to
I don't take them to be like challenges. I just think that's something normal. Yeah.
Nima, what are the challenges that you faced?
Okay, so in addition to the dealing with people, I think that's a constant challenge all the time. Recently, we had to let go of some of our members because of the issue of them wanting to just be known to be part of the Hijabi mentorship program, but you're not adding anything into the Hijabi mentorship program. You want to add it to your CV. You want to stand in front of people and say, oh, I'm part of this organization, but you're not doing anything. So it's usually very hard. But for me, I will say, when I was starting, my main challenge was lack of expertise. I can honestly say that my leadership skills then and my leadership skills now are very different. Because, you know, it's one thing to say, oh, I want to start an organization. Oh, I'm planning this. Oh, you know, these are the activities I want to carry out. And it's one thing to be on the field. Because once you're on the field, you see a completely different scenario, and you experience so many different challenges. And by then, I wasn't as good as handling them as I am now, because I am so sorry. Because at least right now, I have more experience. So I've faced many challenges. I know how I'm going to go about each one of them. So I would say lack of expertise then, and lack of enough workers. I'm so surprised he had more volunteers then. I had less volunteers then. We were only 5 of us, and we were doing everything, and it was very hectic. And of course, finance challenges, considering I was still in school then. I was still doing my undergraduate degree, so I was using my own funds. My parents were very pissed because I was always asking for more money, and my dad, you know, my dad is old, so he doesn't believe in this idea of, he believes in giving back to the community, but he doesn't believe in multitasking. Like, why do you want to be in school and do all these 1 million things? Oh, you must have so much money. This is why you want to waste all this money. Why don't you just finish this and do this? So it was always a battle trying to explain myself that, oh, I'm doing this, I can do both, like I can do both. Just recently is when my dad has started appreciating, like, oh wow, she's actually doing good, and it's actually good she started early. So I can say those were my challenges.
So many people, when they face a certain challenge, like you said, people, and like all of you said, people is the most important. So how do you deal with such? Because so many people, when they face such challenges, they back out. They close the organization.
expertise. You need to get them. You need to get them. They really help you because at least they have that experience of what you're going to face in the future. She'll say that I think you get people who are very experienced in that work, and then work with them. They will help you. They will push you actually. I have few of them, and actually they push me actually to do more better every day. I cannot compare myself how I was and right now.
So you have to be positive.
Yeah.
So there's a common notion that people, when they open an NGO, they receive funds from international organization or other foreign countries. They're opening it because they get money from those countries. How true is that?
It is true, but for common organizations, but for startup, trust me, you will hustle. You will really hustle. Yeah, but it's there, but for only, you cannot compare my organization, for example, and Save the Children. Obviously, Save the Children actually write a proposal, always the first thing they'll just look is just the name. So for startup, it's very hard. So, but for people who are already there, already made their name, actually it's very easy for them.
Very easy for them.
Yeah.
Well, to be completely honest, I operated for 2 years without any funds from any international organization. We were funding every activity. For every activity that we were doing, the money was coming from us, fundraising by ourselves or by our friends or people around us. So I don't know about that notion. Maybe it is. It's only recently that we've started receiving funds from outside. We're actually expecting some funds, but that's all. When all for the past 2 years, we've just been on our own. So I wouldn't say all these organizations you're seeing or people open organizations to receive funds, but then I cannot defend because I have seen people who open organizations to receive funds. So in the end of the day, it's debatable.
So how do you get funds to do your activities? Because we as youth, we don't have that much money, and we also have responsibilities. You also have a social life. So how do you balance that and get funds? Because
you have to sacrifice. It starts with your own pocket first. You get into your pocket, you remove what you have, the people around you too, the part of the organization, and the people who believe in your vision so they can come in and chip in the money too. So every time we go to do something, they will like, oh, are you guys doing something this month? Oh yeah, we are doing something. So then they can help you. So you always at least have a good circle of people where like they really believe in you. So anytime you need assistance, you don't need to hustle too much of saying you have to like present stuff. So at least they'll be there to help you. Yeah.
How do you balance your organization, work, social life? Because we are youth, we all have social lives, we all believe in social life. So how do you deal with that? I think it's a lot on your plate.
Okay, to be honest, it's been crazy, and I'm not going to lie to you. There are some days I wake up completely burnt out. It becomes very overwhelming. Some point you completely get depressed. Very true, because you know some days you work every single day, you sleep at midnight and you have to be up by 5. You don't go back to bed, you don't have a social life. I was speaking recently, a few months back on my Instagram, and I was telling people how hard you always have to sacrifice. Sometimes I've lost so many friends because of that, because you don't have time to hang out anymore, or you don't have time to come to bridal showers, or you don't have time to attend our weddings, or all these things. And it's been crazy, and it's not like I like living this life, but in the end of the day we have to do what we have to do. So for me, every time that happens, I take a step back. I honestly completely take a moment back, because this is one time I almost passed out in an Uber. I was going for a meeting, and that is the one time that I learned to understand that my well-being is very important, because I slept. I was going for a meeting at a particular embassy, and I slept. And the Uber man literally slept, he woke me up and asked me, are you okay? And then I sat there and asked myself, what if he was a bad person and he decided to just pass by there, cancel the ride, end the ride and pretend he had already dropped me and walked away? No one could have been able to account for that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a 1 week break for myself to just take care of my health, because in the end of the day, if your health is not okay, you cannot deliver to your community.
That's very true. Abdul Halim, how do you balance work, organization, social life?
I'll just use one word. It's passion. It's passion, but trust me, what she said is actually true. You don't need to push yourself too much sometimes. And the balance, actually, you don't, like for example, like in an organization, you don't need to do everything at that time. At least you have a plan, you have a work plan, so I'm going to do this maybe for example like next month. So this month I'm going to be resting. I'm going to be focused on my job, maybe going to school, and then next month I'm going to be doing this. And remember, Pia, you have a team who will actually help you too. So don't stress yourself too much. Don't stretch it too much. Just have a balanced time. And in your organization, always have this good work plan so that you know when a project is actually coming, so that you know how you're going to plan yourself when it comes.
Okay, yeah. Na mtazamaji, tupate pumziko fupi, tarejea baada ya muda usio mrefu. Kumbuka mada yetu leo ni vijana wanaofanya mabadiliko katika jamii. Kumbuka hata wewe unaweza fanya mabadiliko. Ndio maana usiende mbali. Wageni wetu wawili wana mengi ambao wataweza kukwambia, itakufaidisha wewe na watu wote walioko nyumbani kwako. Usiende mbali, tarejea baada ya muda usio mrefu.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا.
Ni kitabu kitukufu.
Ni kitabu ambacho cha miujiza
kilichoteremshwa kwa mpangilio.
Hazikuletwa harufu hizi za mkato moja kwa moja.
Hakuna mfano wake.
Na hamwezi nyinyi Makureishi kuwa ni wenye kutunga kitabu kama hiki, ingawa zimetumia harufu zile ambazo zimezitumia katika kuandika au katika kusema.
Miujiza yake Al-Malik.
Mwenyezi Mungu ana uwezo usiokuwa na kifani.
Ni malengo ya Qur'an.
Khazain zote za ardhi na samawati ziko mikononi mwake.
Sheikh Muhammad Badamana na uchambuzi wa Qur'an kwa undani kila Alhamisi saa 3 usiku kwenye Horizon TV.
On the next episode,
Imagine those people who don't know Arabic and then they meet Prophet Muhammad on the day of judgment. How will they say to him, "How are you?"
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Karibu katika awamu yetu ya 3 na ya mwisho ya Active Jumatatu. Mada ya leo ni youth making a difference. Tumeweza kusikia mengi namna ya kuweza kufungua organization yako. Ni kwamba tumeambiwa kwamba usitegemee kwamba utatoa msaada, unategemea kitu in return. The main thing is to help without expecting anything, even funds, and they are young, they are using their own money to run the organization. Karibuni tena. You're doing a good job, but it's not your responsibility, it's the responsibility of the government. Yeah. Is the government failing?
Okay.
Nima.
Do you like to start or should I?
You can start.
Yes, so what's the question?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Yeah.
You are a youth.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job. You're doing something which the government should be doing. It's not your responsibility. It is the government's responsibility. Yeah. And as a youth, we are known to be irresponsible, but you are responsible. Yeah. You're doing more than what the government is doing for the youth.
Yeah.
So, do you think the government is failing?
Okay, that's a very controversial question, but then that's the essence of this. So personally, I will say, as much as I want to sit down and blame the government, I also have to start by myself. For me, change starts from you. I mean, I can sit down and point fingers at all the other people who I feel should be doing more, or all the other people who I feel are doing wrong. But then again, that would mean that I'm not doing my part. So in the end of the day, I have to ask myself, what is my role in society? What am I doing? I'm seeing a problem. I can sit down and blame the government, oh, they're not doing this, oh, they're not doing this. But then again, I can use that time to think of, how am I going to fix this as a person? So I feel like as youth, we can take that as a challenge, because it's a notion of changing the narrative. In the social media, they say breaking the generation curse, but it's also very important for us to understand how important it is, our small contributions to making or changing the government. I would also love to blame the government, but then again, it is the youth who are the ones who put the government in office. So whose mistake is that? Ours, because we have an opportunity to change the system, but every single time we are the ones putting people who keep on failing us. So youth make 70% of the Kenyan population, and yet we're considered a minority. How are we a minority when we are actually the majority in the Kenyan community? So I will say change starts from within. So as much as the government may not be doing their part, but we also have a role to play in the government.
Abdul Halim, should government give solutions to the problems youth are facing?
Yes and no. Because there's some part that the government should play, and there's some part which I should play. So we both have to balance those two things. So as a youth, I need to do my part. As the government need to play their part, in terms of, for example, giving us access to like other opportunities, for example, higher education, providing assistance. For example, like we registered, the government is the one who actually gave us that opportunity actually to even have this youth group actually to be registered. So I believe that the government can play that role, but I believe you should not hold yourself back for not doing something good.
We talked about, you talked about that and many more. So is there a need for training of youth, including international, in helping solving the problems that are facing Kenyans and even Africa at large?
Yes. Yes, because they are very much experienced and much ahead of us. So it's good that bringing that skills actually to here, it's actually more better. But they need to realize how they bring it actually here, because the youth who are suffering are not the ones maybe in universities. For example, if you want to train people, then you do it, for example, in KCC. Some people don't have even the money to come from where they are coming from, whether it's Dandora or somewhere, just to come to KCC. So they need to break it down to small towns so that it can reach out to that skills, and then I think it can really help the youth actually there.
Okay. Manima.
Well,
I believe you've even gone out for training, so explain it to us.
Okay, so this year I've participated in 2 different trainings. My first one was in May. I went to Addis Ababa for Agenda Justice Training with Changemaker Exchange, which is a program that was supported by Ashoka and Robert Bosch Stiftung, which Robert Bosch is an international organization. And recently I also came back from the Mandela Washington Fellowship, which I think is what a lot of people know about. I was actually the youngest Kenyan.
Oh, the youngest.
Yes, I was the youngest Kenyan. We were about 40. So, okay, so let me explain this a little bit. So every year, the Mandela Washington Fellowship selects 700 young African leaders from the sub-Saharan Africa. And how it happens, they pick you based on your attribution and what you've done to your society, based on your leadership qualities. So what I will say, this is very important, because once you're selected, you get an opportunity to go to the United States for about 6 weeks. I spent 6 weeks in Indiana, then I went to Washington, and this experience, it gives you an opportunity to meet different people, you know. It gives you the exposure that you're not getting back home. And as much as we would like to say home is the best, but you still need to grow. You need to be able to open your wings so that you can fly. Okay, it's a statement, I just. But like, yeah, so I will say that, for example, the Mandela Washington Fellowship has really contributed a lot to my leadership skill. I was taking part in the civic engagement track, where I was in Indiana University for the 6 weeks I was talking about. And I got to grow, learn, make the necessary networks and partnerships that I need to to grow. So they get to give you the different skills, and they get to give you the different perspectives, and you get to learn. This is what they're doing, because in the end of the day, I realize we have almost the similar problems, but what truly matters is how do we handle these problems. So I will say the international organizations are really doing a good job, the ones I have managed to work with, and I really do support what they're doing to improving our youth, and I would urge our youth to apply for these opportunities.
And should the Kenyan government imitate the same training and build them here in Kenya?
Exactly, because I mean, they should take that as a challenge. Why is it that other countries are seeing the need to improve the capacity and build the capacity of their youth? I mean, because we are the Kenyan government. So why should other people see the problem when you are here with us every single day? You should be the one who is seeing this, because you are experiencing and looking at us firsthand. So yes, the Kenyan government, that should actually be a challenge to them. And as much as they would like to say, oh, these international organizations are helping because we have created a conducive environment for them to help, we don't want them to create conducive environments for other international organizations to help. We want them to use that opportunity also to look into their youth, which is us, and help us, because why should other people be helping us when they're right here?
Abdul Halim, do you think the government should do the same thing here in Kenya?
Yeah, they should do, because the government actually has that access actually to go down to the small levels of the counties, and having this training will develop actually the youth themselves, and the youth will start appreciating what the government is. The government actually receive a lot of money, so they need to actually contribute to the development of its own people. You get. So I don't think if they don't actually, we have this. Not everybody is able to attend school. Not everybody is actually is able to pay some of these schools fees and all that. So when you have this type of training, actually, you are mentoring these kids, you are developing their skills, the leadership skills like what she's talking about, but the government can actually do more better because they're able to reach out to those people who actually maybe the NGOs cannot reach.
What is the response so far from the youth? Because you've been, how many, 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years down the line. People have different views, different response. So how's the response so far?
They're good. They're good youth, but they need more learning. Two things I always tell them is like discipline and consistency. That will take you far. And they're not bad. Actually, they're very good, but that knowledge that we are talking about, the training stuff, actually it needs to go to the low level. We don't need to actually have it high here, and we are forgetting the people down there. So they just need more knowledge and more information about the country, because you'll be shocked, like even us, we don't even know much about the country. So they should go down to the level, and I think youth have very big potential to grow, so the government should just give them that opportunity.
Okay. You are a Muslim and a lady, and being a leader of so many people, how's the response?
Well, I have received a great deal of positive criticism, but I have also received some negative criticism. I mean, like, but for me, I believe that if people do not criticize you, it means you're not doing something. Because if people criticize you, it means you're doing something. And somebody somewhere is probably feeling threatened by that, or actually wants to improve what you're doing. So for me, I have very few people who can actually come to me directly and tell me, you know what, I'm negatively criticizing you right now, but right now it's the land of social media, and people can hide behind pretentious accounts and some undefined users to comment on your picture and say, oh, you're a Muslim woman, you shouldn't even be speaking in front of a crowd full of men. I mean, or people be like, what is a young lady telling us? Especially back home, be like, you're not even married, you think you have the power to, you can't even get a husband, but you think you can come here and change our lives. I mean, these are things that you know, they happen, and but that's part of growth, because you get to to get different perspectives, and you get to know how you're going to tackle that in future. But I will say that a lot of youth have been inspired by our work. Okay, that's what I will say. I mean, some people probably would be like, oh, you know, okay, I've received that. She's such a kimbele. Like, oh my goodness, I get that so much. Like, ushamona msichana mzungu, kimbele, like, you know, like, but yeah, but you just learn how to live by that. As long as you're passionate about what you're doing and you believe in what you're doing, then you shouldn't be worrying about what other people think. What matters is you're doing right by right for you. So yeah,
unemployment rate is high, and so many youth are affected with that. So many youth are going into drugs, alcohol, maybe criminal things, or just being at home. They don't know what to do. What's the solution for unemployment in Kenya? Abdul Halim.
Oh. That's actually has to be the key thing here. Unemployment. It has to start first of all. I don't want to point fingers on anyone. Unemployment. First of all, I believe people have heard this. I think early this year, I think March or April, there was a meeting with the executive directors saying that the companies are not producing enough profit to actually hire more. Last month, I think people have seen that Telecom and Blue Triangle cut people off. Actually, companies are not creating more jobs for people. They're only replacing people. So if you're here, they're going to replace you with someone else here. They're not creating another option for other people. And key thing here is that one thing that people need to understand is that a lot of people are graduating this year, like millions of people actually graduating. But the funny thing is that they'll find out when they go outside to look for jobs, the skills that they possess doesn't match the job that's there in the market. See, so that's a challenge. That's a big one. So one thing I can say is that for us to solve unemployment, we need companies and institutions, that's maybe universities, colleges, to work together. Because you're spending 4 years in school and companies are developing themselves. I will not find this TV station like this in the next 1 year. So something will have changed here. So I'm in school spending 3 years. I don't know what's happening in the companies. Then when I'm done, I'm trying to come to now ask for employment. Then you're so outdated. You don't even know what's happening there. So I think companies and institutions need to work together. Like, for example, we'll use an example for Germany, like they do that. For example, if a student has spent like 1 year in school, they enroll him in a company which actually based on that skill that is took, maybe it's finance, they involve in that. So at least you get that exposure of how the company is, and the company should not be scared of actually spending money on that. They should actually have programs, maybe like even 1 month. Just bring that. Don't wait until when they're done with universities. Just take them when they are fresh. Come there, learn, because you don't know what the doors they can open. Because you can just have a small company and maybe those guys are the one who actually have big ideas which can make the company grow and actually have more employment. So these two people need to play those two roles. And youth should not just be waiting to sit in an office and a computer. They should be ready to take anything. And don't let the education system define your success. You can do anything. You can do anything. Just start something small and don't be selfish.
Don't be selfish. Nima, what's the solution?
Thank you for bringing up the issue of skill learning, because honestly, I know people who are watching this are probably going to go like, oh, here she goes again, because I talk about this all the time, but here I go again. So anyway, skill learning is very important. The value of skill learning is very important. I'm going to compare this to the United States because I was there for almost 2 months, and I can assure you, young boys and girls acquire the simple skills at a very young age. I visited Ivy Tech Community College, and I learned that the simple, not even the simple, the highest forms of automotive, electronic engineering and all that is being conducted by people who are almost 16 to 18. Issues like plumbing or, electrician, something is wrong with your bulb, you call a 14-year-old to come and fix it. This is why by the time they're 18 and they're joining college, they already have different skills that they can use to make money from, which is why they move out of their parents' houses very young, because they already have different forms of earning money, which prevents them from looking from sugar daddies and looking from sponsors or any of these things that we have in most of our African communities. Because by the age of 18, you're already settled up, you're in your house, and you have different skills that you can use to make some money. So, and in the end of the day, as you're looking for that white collar job that everyone is so possessed about, because everyone wants to work in a big office. Every time we're finishing university, you're just thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be working in an awesome office with AC and Wi-Fi. And but you have to understand that it takes a while to get there. So skill learning, we need to introduce. What I was suggesting was that we as young leaders need to start investing collectively in the value of skill learning. We help in building human capital development, both soft skills and hard skills, to ensure that our youth are well equipped in both levels. I mean, yes, you can be good in the office work, but you also be good at the field. And to our youth, jamani, acheni kuchagua kazi. I mean, literally, doing hair does not make you less of a human being. Doing plumbing does not make you less of a human being. I was speaking to a young man in my community just a few weeks back, and he was telling me, oh, please help me get a job. I wish I can help you get a job. I have people in my families who do not have a job. I don't know why you would think I have that level of power, but what I can do, if you really, because he was like, I want to go to town, I have an interview. I was like, are you willing to cut grass? Because I'm not just going to hand you my money like that. You need to know how to work for it. Are you willing to cut grass? Oh, sasa mimi mwanaume mzima bwana nkate nyasi. Like, you know, like we need to stop changing that. We need to change that mentality. As long as what you're doing, you're not stealing from anyone, what you're doing is legal in Kenya and it's something you can live by for the rest of your life, you need to be willing to get on the field. So the value of skill learning is something we need to preach to our governments. Our education system is so congested. There is no time for our young boys to invest in, young boys and girls to invest in different skill learning.
Thank you so much. I think half a minute parting shot. Okay. Time is up. Half a minute. Your parting shots.
Oh, okay.
Quickly. 3
questions that you want to ask yourself in a regular basis. How can I grow? What can I give? And what can I celebrate? You need to live up like that, so that each day that you wake up, at least you know that what can I learn today? You know, what skills can I give today? And currently, as organization, we are having this project that we're doing. It's called the book drive for a year. We're trying to support young kids to keep them in school, not just in school, but actually to get them the access of the resources. That means we are trying to collect books to assist them with their education. So if you're willingly, I can share the pay bill actually, the pay bill for that. And in case maybe someone will wanted to get more information, they can reach out to me then.
Okay. Yeah. Parting shots?
Parting shot. 1, the Mandela Washington Fellowship portal is open. So if you're interested, anyone who is interested in taking part in the Mandela Washington Fellowship, the portal is open. You can send your applications right now. Very soon I will be doing a question and answer on the issue of applying for that. And also this Saturday, we are having an event in Kwale County in an area called Mwabungo in partnership with Samba Sports. We're doing a Girl Power event. And on Sunday, we are doing an event on sexual reproductive health rights and HIV in Kwale County Youth Center. So what I can say is change starts from within. Mnakaribishwa nyote.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much Abdul Halim. Thank you so much Nimo. Na mtazamaji, tumefika tamati ya kipindi Active Jumatatu. Kumbuka kesho utaungana na Yusuf Farah kwa Tech Tuesday. Jina langu ni Ibtisam Jamal kwa niaba ya Muhammad Obura. Ma'assalam.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Bye.